Greetings, happy people, and thank you so much for tuning in to the Kitara Gray Show. I hope through this dialogue you are inspired to take calculated risk, evaluate your limiting beliefs, and live a God-filled, purpose life. So without further ado, let's give it up for my guest, Nadia. Woo! So excited. I'm excited about every guest, but especially when I have a fellow Spartan.
Yes.
I mean, hello. Who doesn't love? If you're not from Memphis, you don't get it. You don't get it. Okay, we're gonna get right in because I want to make sure that we get to every question.
Yes.
Can you tell our audience a little bit or a lot about yourself and who and what has shaped you into the amazing woman that you are?
Awesome. So I'll start with my name.
Yes.
So I'm Nadia Matthews. I'm the owner of Lily Rose Studios. Lily Rose Studios is a 501c3 dramatic arts organization where we produce stage plays, acting classes, youth programming, and we really focus on serving underserved youth in the Memphis community. A little bit about Lily Rose. I actually started the business when I was 15.
You did?
I was actually
a
a fellow Spartan at the time. I was writing stage plays. And I was looking for a name of the company, and being a production studio, I was thinking about the great people like Oprah Winfrey and Tyler Perry. And I was like, I don't want a self-titled studio for some reason. So we named the studio after my two grandmothers, Lily and Rose. They both passed in 2020. But that kind of helped me get started. I always say that they're the foundation to my foundation. Having two strong grandmothers who were so supportive and loving, it influences me really to pour that into the kids. I'm like, I feel extremely blessed to even have that type of unconditional love and strength and wisdom that grandmothers give. So I'm like, every student that want to come in, my goal is to kind of inject some of that into them. Of course, at 22 years old, we opened our facility in 2011, and we've been rocking ever since. Almost 11 years in my building and over 15 years in self-producing, stage plays.
If that does not inspire you,
Yes.
When she says at 15, I was like, I remember you saying I'm gonna have a studio.
Yeah.
And to see it come to fruition.
Yes.
If you're a young person, old person, middle-aged person watching this, let her story inspire you.
Yeah.
Like, I picked the guests because they've inspired me.
Yeah.
And so this is amazing what she's done. Can you share with us what it's like being one of the first, and you may be the only that I know of, and few Black women to own an entire theater company in the city of Memphis?
Man, I don't think I'm the first, but the experience has been phenomenal. You have your hard days, you have your rough days, but I mean, it feels very empowering. Of course, like I said, I worked a few jobs right before I started the studio. They had the same story as you. Like, I heard Nadia talking about opening this building. I was making maybe $9 an hour, and they're like, how is she gonna open this studio? Like, she's making the same money as we are. And they say the same thing. And those kind of stories help me realize, like, you have to apply faith, to everything you do, because I literally found the building on Craigslist. I went to the owner. He was like, do you have collateral? All these terms that I knew nothing about. And I was like, I have a newspaper clipping from a play that I did. And I had a lot of faith, and it was a mechanic shop. And I remember my mom walked in and she was like, no way, like, no way. And I was like, I see it. And she was like, no, I see it. No money. It was a faith project. As money came in, I was buying paint to, get my friends to paint the walls. And it was just, we were faith in it. People were starting to make donations. And of course, the road had just started to ownership, business, entrepreneurship, but it was a faith project, and I don't think it wasn't money because I would have never been able to afford it or go to a bank. I had no credit at the time. It was solely the timing. It was God's perfect timing, and it was taking a risk and just leaping out and say, hey, I can work the rest of my life doing these dead-end freelance jobs or I can start my own and kind of flow through it. Wow. And that's what's been happening.
I never told her, but like when I saw it, because I was like, Lily Rose. I'm like, that sounded like we're not even. So she's like, you consider downtown. So
Yes.
she's in like prime real estate.
Yeah.
And when I pass it, I'm like, I tell everybody, that's my classmate's build. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like, I'm like, she won for us all.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's been amazing to just see it. And at 15, you knowing this is what I want to do. And I mean, she said something that I love. Don't fake it, faith it.
Yeah.
Faith it.
Faith it.
Faith it, girl.
Yes.
I think that's copywritten, but that to me is the story of everyone that sits here and has had a love of entrepreneurship. That's amazing. How have you been able to sustain and keep the doors open?
Just being a student at all times. Of course, I was 22, so I was in that pivotal moment of being a long-term college student. So I was really deciding, like, what are you going to do? You know, my focus was just learning entrepreneurship, learning what I'm getting into. So being a student has kept me going, and failure kept me going.
Oh my.
So I wouldn't have learned how to manage money had I not struggled. I wouldn't have known how to separate my business account from my personal account if I didn't have to sleep in my building, sometimes. So failure taught me, and not failure as I was failing, but I was having some quick trials to say, hey, now you need an accountant, now you need marketing, now you need, you need to learn how to navigate deals. Or if I had a disgruntled customer, which was very rare. We have excellent customer service.
Absolutely.
But, it taught me to put contracts in place. So you can go through to a lot of classes and a lot of things, but it takes that one incident to be like, I need to protect myself in this area, et cetera, et cetera. Because when I started so young and I opened immediately, I got the building in June, the hottest part of the summer, June or July, and we opened by August, September. So it was no business plan. It was no structure. It was no long 6-month drawn out plan. It was, hey, we got this. Now let's try to recruit, and we had to learn everything in the midst of it.
So you're like the blueprint of doing it scared.
Yeah.
I had not, but look at you now.
Yeah.
That leads me to my next question. This is probably one of my favorite.
Yeah.
How many plays have you directed and produced to date?
Plays, God. So I started in 2007. I know we've done 10 movies.
10 movies
with kids. Because of course every summer we shoot a movie with kids, and it premieres at Malco. So we did 10 short films. And I want to say probably equivalent to the same amount of plays. Yeah, so I need to count them.
She needs to count them.
Yeah, 2000. So maybe 8 to 10 original shows. I have to count on my fingers.
She gonna get that number.
Yeah. Ghetto Fairy Tale, Bittersweet 16, Girls Night Out, Red Flags, Rebounds. We did the live Stop and Smell the Roses. So yeah, I think it's around 8. Original shows. Yeah.
What's amazing is that you started off doing it scared, and now you have tangible evidence.
Yeah.
Most businesses don't make it past the first year. But she's had sold out plays.
Yeah.
You just recently had one, and we're waiting to see what's coming up next.
I know.
Because I was out of town. I was so mad. I was like, man.
It was so good.
I already know it was. You don't stay in business a long time and not have a good product.
We don't do shabby shows at all.
So I was like, yes, the Lander Center. So if you see of her doing another show, or if you're an adult that wants to participate, we're going to have all that information for you, because you're never too old to start. You're never
Not at all. Not at all. Even the things that I'm trying to do now, I'm like, if I had that childlike faith, because I was younger, so I did have more childlike faith, even if I was a young adult. But when you're younger, you have less, stress, and you're not worried about expenses. So it's easier to jump, as opposed to our age. We got to calculate our entire lifestyles and everything like that. So I am always focused on, that childlike faith. Like, at first it's your parents got you, and that's what I was thinking. Okay, at 15 or 16, if I can't pay for this venue, I know my mom and dad is going to pad it. If I can't build this set, I know my dad is going to come in, which is awesome. I had, a supportive family, still have one. But now I want to channel that childlike faith and know that I'm a child of God. So God got me, so it's like I still can explore. I still can do everything that I want to do. And I don't have a tangible cushion, but
That's
I mean,
good.
it is but we have God. So I'm like, you can still have that childlike faith being any age, because we're a child of God. So he's taking care of you. Yeah. So just got to switch it up.
Nadia just came and preached to us. I love it. And you're right. Like you said, the tangible, like, it's not a person I can call, but it's a different level of faith. Yeah. It's God. Yeah. Because our mom and dad give us a yes or a no.
Yeah. Immediately.
But God be like, I just want to see you take the first step.
Exactly.
I'll respond. My answer is yes.
Yeah.
But I want to see you believe in me enough.
Right.
Because I think the word of God, I can't remember the scripture, it says, by the measurement of your faith is how he's able to do it.
Yeah.
So if you dream big, he gonna do big.
Yeah.
I mean, big God, big dreams for me.
That's true.
I mean, hello.
Absolutely.
What is your advice, like now, doing what you do, to someone that says, I want to do what she's doing?
My advice, and this isn't business advice because I'm seeing it so much now. First, be a good person. Some people are so focused on professionalism and image, and all of these are important. Having the right website, the right material, but focus on first being a good person. And I say that because it takes so much networking. It takes so many relationships to build. So you can have all the resources in the world, but if you're not inwardly just doing good, being a good person, those relationships are going to fail, and that's with your clients, that's with your business partners, that's with anybody. So be a good person, step out on faith, but since we are a little older, I'm not talking to teenagers. Well, I'm pretty sure it's a few. But have a step out on faith, but also be a little logical as well. Like they said, if you're thinking about leaving your job, stack up 3 to 6 months of living expenses, and then maybe 3 months. So we can tell people to just go, but it's also you gotta ask God, when is that go? And just because it's like, hey, wait for 6 months to save money, that doesn't mean that you're not stepping out on faith. That means you're still faith in it and going. So I see that a lot. Like God told me to, it's time to start my vision. I've done that sometimes as well, and I wish I would. I was in the hole, and I'm like, okay, it would have been just an easier, smooth route if I would have just been a little bit more logical with it and kind of worked my faith while working as well.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's the calculated risk part.
Yeah, calculated. Yeah.
You gotta be calculated because some of it may be walk away.
Right.
But for majority of us, it's let's prepare and plan.
Yeah, absolutely.
She gave y'all, really, that should have been something we paid for.
Yeah.
Woo. What has been your biggest setback, and how did you make it out?
Setback. I feel like I haven't had... we've had things that happen. I'm a strong believer, so I don't want to just keep pushing, like believing.
No, this is what this is for.
Yeah, but so it's hard for me to think of setbacks because it was so set up. It was a setup. I hate to be cliche, but I'm like even the story we talked about before we started filming, I'm like it set me up to do things that I would have been scared to do. Yeah. So, but I can say myself. I feel like I was my own setback.
Wow.
Growing up, being, starting at 15 and opening a business at 22. And 22 sounds like such a mature age, when you're throwing it out there. But you got to really think about your 22-year-old self. Most people are just coming out of college or just, we don't know how to manage credit cards, bills. And, we were learning, those things. I think my setback was myself. As women, we go through self-esteem errors. We go through financial, dating, we go through all the motions. So I was growing and learning myself while running a business. And I can see sometimes where I didn't push the envelope because I was getting in my own way. I started to feel like, I don't possess this skill. Or if I remember it was a stage where before I got my braces and I wanted to do vlogs and videos, and I remember being like, I'm not doing it until I get my braces, and didn't get braces until 5 years later. Opportunities that could have arrived, I just know that I was my own, I became my own worst enemy by restricting myself and waiting instead of just doing. So I say the setback has been myself breaking through procrastination. Those seasons, of course, the pandemic hit a lot of us really hard, And in that time, I think I woke up at the end of the pandemic 2 years later, like, you know, you got to get rid of that lazy bone. And a lot of people are like, Nadia, how are you calling yourself lazy when you work every day? But you know, you can be doing so much more. And I know I limited myself based on what I thought I wasn't capable of. Like, you know, instead of writing scripts for Netflix or selling scripts, I just started like, well, just do the local, you know, stage play route. So I feel like my setbacks have been myself and breaking through my bad habits.
That's amazing. That's such an elegant way to put it,
Yeah.
but I think it's so palatable.
Yeah.
Because you talked about the beauty in I was growing as an entrepreneur and I was growing as a woman.
Yeah.
So I think that the most appropriate response I have is y'all give yourself grace.
Yeah.
Especially if you're the first to do it.
Yeah.
You're the first person and the only person I know doing what you do.
Yeah.
So there's going to be an element of, I don't know.
Right.
I just don't know.
Yeah.
But when you look back and you can say, those weren't setbacks, those were self-backs.
Right.
But they were set-ups.
I like that. Yeah.
I like that. Let me find out.
Hey.
Let me copyright my stuff. But most of our setbacks are on us.
It is.
And we don't think about it.
Right.
We say it was money. Well, did you really need money?
Did you yeah, what did you
What was your role?
Yeah,
I love
we can
the way
talk
you
all day
put
on
that.
it. Yeah,
Ooh,
that
was
is, yeah.
good. What has been your biggest motivation to keep going?
My biggest motivation is my passion. Like, I am so passionate about this business. I love it. And I mean, I love it. Even on my worst days, when I walk into that building, I love it. So my passion is that, testimonies. The kids, you know, when they say Miss Nadia 5 years later, and I feel like an old woman, even though I'm 33, and they're like, Miss Nadia, one of my students opened up a wing shop, and I'm like, I want some hot wings, but they're like, I never thought about entrepreneurship until I saw you do it. They didn't even think it was possible, you know, because some camps I was running at 23, 24, 25, they were 15 at the time, 14, 13, so they were in the element of finding themselves, and they were like, you were almost like us, our big sister, running a whole company, and they were just that it was bleeding. And I'm a visual learner too, so I need to see it. So just knowing that they are watching me, you know, they're watching how I handle myself. I have so many girls come into my camp, a natural girl, she's looking at the girl whose hair is more fine, and you know, and I'm able to pour into that. You know, I kind of feel like that's my ministry. I'm really able, instead of just being a regular establishment that's, you know, collecting a check for each student, I'm able to really like pour into her. Like, you're beautiful. I'll start wearing my hair in a pop puff. Like, they say, okay, Miss Nadia don't care, you know? So being able to just, at first I thought it was just a business, but being able to just see young people like, oh, I'm really changing their lives. Because people say it all the time, like, you're doing so well with the kids. I'm like, thank you, but I'm making a profit. So I kind of thought, like, is this really ministry work or is it? But then when I say, oh, okay, I can go the extra mile and just make sure that I'm shaping something. So if they see Miss Nadia is wearing, you know, just leggings and, you know, and I'm feeling confident, I'm showing them if I'm natural, or I always say, hey, I got 4C hair, just to make them feel good. If they're, you know, if I can see a little comparison, if I can stop a kid from being a bully and I know that they have deep trauma and pain, you know, instead of just punishing them and expelling them, I can kind of, you know, go in and see, why are you acting like that towards, you know, someone. So, you know, I take it just a step further with the kids in my facility. I was like, I tell people all the time, you know, if you bring your kids to me, you're not just investing in them shooting a movie. You know that they're in great hands, because I'm individually looking at how can I make their experience better, which is the added bonus of me just, I'm like, okay, they can be great, you know.
That is amazing. So y'all can't see how fabulous her fro is, but Nadia has the greatest,
oh my God,
most fabulous natural hair, and it's
it's
the simplest thing, but it's like you having and she's confident, wearing it, and I've always admired a woman with confidence. Because it doesn't have to be said. It's in the way you walk in a room.
Right.
So I'm grown and I feel it. So I know those kids are just like, wow.
They're inspired. I've seen it. They're like, at first I can tell they like come in with a hood on or something. I'm like, this is us.
This is us.
You know, this is us. Like, embrace it.
Embrace
you know?
it.
Yeah, embrace it. We got it. Yeah, so
Oof,
I learned through them as well. So it's like, they teach me to
Yeah.
You go out there and do the
I
same thing
know.
you're telling these kids.
I know, they're like this.
Right. Instagram will have you being like, I need more bundles,
Yeah.
but you have to realize like, no, you're
perfect
Yeah.
the way we are.
Mhm.
That's just beautiful.
Yeah.
So, what has been your go-to scripture like to keep your faith as a veteran entrepreneur?
I have a few. My mom and actually my bishop always say God is able to do exceedingly and abundantly and more than we can ask for. And it's a few. God, I don't even think that's my favorite. But that has been a few because I always, when you're an entrepreneur, at some point you do become very calculated and you're very logical. And I got a perfect example. So as an entrepreneur, this last play, ticket sales was going really slow. I was panicking. I was like, oh my God, I got 2 shows and we haven't even sold out half of each show yet, So I'm panicking. And at this point, the day of the show at the Lander Center, I found some rope. I actually bought some rope from Dollar Tree, the little blue and green jump ropes. And it wasn't long enough. I actually found some rope at the Lander Center and I roped hundreds of seats off.
Come on.
And I'm like, and someone said, oh, everyone is telling you it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. I'm logically thinking like, we haven't even sold this many pre-sale tickets. I'm cool if it don't sell out or if it's not a full house. I just don't want it to look empty. And I'm roping chairs off, but I'm not doing it in a fearful spirit. At this point, I'm like, I just want a good show. Right. And that scripture, God is able to do exceedingly abundantly. I mean, when I look down, I was at the sound. I'm doing the sound and the lights.
Yes.
So I don't see when people come in. When I look down, I'm like, people are sitting in that section. I'm almost getting mad. Like, they took the rope down. I want them to fill it in.
They took the rope down.
It was no more space for them to see. And I was like, God is, how? In my head, I'm like, where did they come from? It was the No Cap concert, the right next door. Meg Thee Stallion was in town. Everybody and their mom had a graduation and a prom. So the whole month, I'm getting conflicts, or we're competing against big African-American shows. And despite of all of that was exceedingly and abundantly more than I until this day. I'm still like, anything that happened, I'm like, that just happened. That's a testament. Like, I promise I did everything to market that show, everything to sell tickets, any new idea. I'm waking up and they flowed in and the ropes were down, not just one show, but both shows. And I was just, that was God. I was like,
exceedingly abundant.
Exceedingly. 2 weeks before, I was telling the cast, like, we gonna kill it.
Yeah.
But, it's gonna be not the best turnout. Yeah. And speaking out of fear, I'm just trying to be as logical as possible. And that was,
come on.
Even an hour before the show, you couldn't tell me that was gonna happen. So he exceeded that expectation. Even with my fear, and my lack of faith in that area, he still did it to show me, like, I got you. And I was like, I'm still like, where y'all come from? Yeah.
I love that God is that kind of God.
Yeah.
What is next for Nadia? Where can we find you? How can we support you?
Okay, so we have a big project in store. I told you I was going to tell you off camera, so I can't.
She can't say it yet.
Yeah, because by the time this air, I'll wait But we have an opportunity that it actually is supposed to happen in 2016. And 6 months ago, I got this huge phone call.
Yes.
I will say it's from a national network.
Come on.
So, yes, we had an amazing opportunity that will grant us the opportunity to, spread our wings a little bit more. But until then, I want to do more work. Like, we're at Lily Rose. We're downtown, 18 South Main. We got a new fresh coat of paint.
Yes.
It's bright and yellow. It was dulling down. But if you come down Main Street and you see a big mustard, get a hot dog and come to us. Come to us. We have programming all year round. Acting classes. Again, like I said, it's more than acting classes. It's really, building your child's self-esteem, their confidence, public speaking. It's help with job interviews, transferable skills with acting, is just being able to stand up for yourself or explore. And this is not a place where they're afraid to be unique. Like we don't want them to be like everyone else. Be
That's
you,
good.
be
That's
beautiful.
good.
So if your kid is interested in any type of performing arts, it's a great start to just get them out there. And we want to do more plays. At first, I was saying never again. We're never doing a play again. I said, why did I sign up for this in my busiest season? But, seeing the audience, I fell in love. I was my 15-year-old self again. And I was like, I was not a business owner that day. I was that teenager who produced that first play. And I was like, oh, I love it. I love it. So,
The passion returns. So everything Nadia said, when I watch this episode, I'm just probably going to be in tears because it's just so motivating to see.
Yeah.
This is this next segment is for our viewers to get to know you better.
Okay.
So I'm going to ask her a question she doesn't know, and we're just going to see what you just say. So greatest trip you've ever been on?
Greatest trip was Jamaica with my sisters. It was so much fun. That was my first international trip. The secret behind that is that they always had trips. I just never stood out, and I always blamed like, oh, I'm a business owner, I got things to do. And they were like, you're going on this trip. We fought. We literally fought.
To make you go.
Yeah, because they were pissed. Like,
you going.
Yeah, and I've been traveling ever since. I'm like, I've been missing out on life. Like,
Girl,
I missed everybody's like bridal shower, bachelorette parties, anything that they had. I'd be like, I gotta work. I was so afraid to just. And now I'm like, oh, it makes it easier to come back to and make you want to work harder. So
it does.
Yeah. And Jamaica, and I feel super cute when I go out of town for some reason.
Baby, y'all.
Yeah, I be turning up. I be in sweats here, but like I be out of town. I'm like, this is when Nadia comes out,
Baby,
so.
nah.
Right. So yeah. Okay, yeah.
Okay, favorite actor?
Yeah, the worst thing you can ask me is favorites. I got a favorite trip.
Ooh.
And I got a favorite color. Favorite actor? I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, we got to skip that one.
Top director you want to collaborate with?
I have to say Tyler Perry.
Tyler Perry's pretty dope. Tell us something about you we would never suspect.
Dang, I wear my heart on my sleeve. I'm really just, it's out there. What about me you will never... y'all kind of... this is not how I am every day. I wear makeup maybe once a week. And I don't know. I'm a workaholic. I'm in sweats. And I'm not, I guess a lot of people be like, hey, I thought you were going to be bougie when I met you. Or I didn't know you were going to be so personable. So I got that a lot. I'm like, I always smile. So how did you think that? So I guess just down to earth and just super chill. I'm not a tomboy, but if I could be, I would, because I literally...
You said I could be. Yeah, you do. You out of the... Because she has... What she did say she has an identical...
fraternal, yeah.
So she's more dressy. But I'm like, you are more like, girl, more sweats.
Man, you have to force me to put... I was digging for this outfit today. I'm like... Even Easter, I had jeans and a shirt on. I'm like, let me dress... So, I'm just... Yeah.
She's pretty chill. I love that. That's not something because you do it so well.
Yeah,
I never would suspect unless I'm like, you don't ever dress up.
I'm trying to do better. I'm trying to do better.
Me too. I'll be out here with a hood on.
I know.
And some good word shirts.
Right. See,
I'll say something powerful, but I'm not gonna look powerful.
Send me. Let me order some because that's all I need.
Put on some little jeans and Converse. That's it.
Right.
And the hat. So you're pulling up to an event dressed to impress. What you wearing?
I'm going to wear something that I just got at the last minute, the day of. Even, I'm telling you, my grandma's funeral, I was pulling up, the day of.
No.
I know. I was at, I need a black dress.
Girl. No.
I'm horrible. So whatever I find that fits the day before of the day of. So I'm doing better.
Thank you, Lord.
That's what y'all need to know about me. I swear. In 2009, I went to the Tyra Banks show.
Yep.
And it was to give me a makeover. Because if you watch the episode, Nadia on the Tyra show, the entire show was about me running a nonprofit, my entire segment, me running a nonprofit and putting little into myself. And that was 2009. Till this day, I'm like, I'm the same way.
We calling Tyra. We're going to look at this. We calling Tyra.
Yeah, it's horrible. It was called Makeover for a Day. It was a person that gives back to the community. But and I'm looking back and I'm like, I'm scared to watch it again. But So that's what you need to know about me is like,
You been on the Tyra Banks show. That's some people in the suspense.
Yeah.
And then for why you on the Tyra?
yeah, I did. They had to give me a makeover. It was about Lily Rose Studios. They said my studio.
Yes.
And I was 19 and I was like, and she owns a nonprofit, but she literally, when she goes out, she doesn't care about her look. So I've done a little better, but but you caught me yesterday. I had a wig cap on
They
at
want to
Home
put you
Depot.
back on the show.
Mm-hmm.
You know what?
Yep,
Tyra don't have this show no more. They watch.
Yeah.
Tyra, come back out.
I helped somebody. So makeover people, glam squad. I'm going to have to, because I would not try. I even put my eyelashes crooked on today. I'm like, I'm going to take these things off as soon as I get in the car. Like,
I'd be like, y'all think I like glam? Y'all should meet the house.
I like the aftermath, but to sit there,
for the moment.
I'm going to do better.
She's going to do better.
Yeah.
In 5 years, what do you desire to have accomplished most?
In 5 years, I put so much into my career that I'm really trying to focus on personal life. So in 5 years, of course, I want growth for my studio. I want a new location, a bigger location. I want to write for national networks and sit back and chill and collect those checks, and not have to work 12 hours a day like I'm doing now, which I don't mind. But I want to be married. I want children. I want to have a family. So I want to focus a lot on my personal life and not put my dreams to the back burner, but let them work together. Yeah. So I want to start focusing on, manifesting and praying for, those things, positioning myself to be prepared for, possibly being somebody's wife, someone's mom, and the mogul, as a business owner. So I wanted all of it. Millionaire, mom, mogul, and a wife. An amazing husband.
You heard, because he gonna have to come with
He got to. Yeah, he got to. He got to. I ain't playing.
So I love it.
Yeah.
So this is our last segment. It's the footprint segment. You're gonna look into that camera. You're going to tell a life mantra, a scripture, just anything you want to leave to be that indelible footprint that you leave in the earth. So take it away.
What can I say that's so profound? I would tell you, and you've may heard this through scriptures in the Bible, or just heard someone say, just about planting seeds and harvest. And lily rose are correlated to lily rose being lily and a rose being flowers, but plant a seed everywhere you go. Plant a seed. And when you plant that seed, water it. Don't leave the seed in the ground. Don't just pray about it and just say, hey, God fix it. Water that seed, and you water it through faith. You water it through giving back to others. You're watering it through just constantly moving, praying on it, and watch it manifest. So harvest it, plant the seed and watch it bloom, and invest in other people. So if anything, I'll just say, be a blessing and plant seeds and allow it to bloom.
Oof.
Yes.
Well, Nadia has been amazing today, and I know that something she said was just mind-blowing and I say purpose-driven. So I can't thank you all enough for joining in and chilling with me and my special guest, Nadia. I know that something we discussed sparked a big fire in you to do it scared. You don't have to have all the answers, just a solid yes to start your journey with God. Keep going. There are more people for you that can ever be against you, and we so happen to be two women that are among those people rooting for your success. Until next time, bye.